Hi everybody, this new video is going to show you how to take to Design Space a bundle of SVGs which I've just listed on Etsy, which show you how to make this lovely pop-out bouquet card with flowers that you make yourself and overlays that you can use maybe to personalize with print and cut. And the card is held closed with this lovely strong belly band, which you could also personalize on the back. And then there's a file to make this lovely deep envelope that holds everything inside it. There's a close-up on the flowers. They're just a basic daisy with a fairly simple centre and a nice leaf that goes with them, but you get three different sizes that make this lovely arrangement when you put them all together. The front edge has a little heart cutout, which is shown up when you stick the different coloured panels inside. It's like a trifold, so those two doors close and cover the bouquet up at the side. Everything that you see in the pictures is included, including this basket, which is supplied as a print and cut file, but I'll also show you how to use that file to just make a plain cut file if you don't know how to do it, and if you'd rather do that than do print and cut. There's the card made up and wrapped in the belly band, sliding into the envelope. That's a beautiful fit, and there it is on top. Close up on the belly band there, and then back to that final picture. Okay, so let's go into Design Space and we'll see how to cut it. Everything is in my library, but I'll bring it in from scratch so we can see how it happens. So upload image, browse. I'm actually on the folder already, but if I wasn't, I would just click on these various folders to get back to where they are. Bouquet, card with belly band. And you can see we've got a card there. This one is for the actual card and the belly band and the basket. This one is just for the envelope, and that's the PNG that you would use for the print and cut, but you can also bring it as a cut file. I'll show you how. Right, so we'll bring the card in first. It's quite a big SVG. There's lots of pieces in it, as you can see, but as long as you follow along with this video, it'll be fairly straightforward. And if you're using the Canvas Workspace files and or the Studio 3 files for the free version of Silhouette, if I can speak, the file, all the pieces will be the right size and your score lines will already be converted to tiny cuts. This video is just for Design Space, really. Right, so at this window, do nothing, just continue. Here you don't need to do anything unless you want to rename it over here. Just click upload and it lands on your canvas, and you can see it's a big file, lots of different pieces in it. So it lands and it's already selected. All we need to do, first move, is ungroup it. And it's come in two groups within that group. So the first group is where the lines that need converting to score live, and the second group is where all the cut pieces are. So first thing we're going to do is ungroup that layer that's got all the cut pieces in it. Then we're going to select that top layer where the score lines live. Go to the operations menu, because we can't make them come in automatically set to score. It's not like a Cricut Access project. You have to change them yourself. So you go to your operations menu and choose score from the drop down, and you can see that they've become dashed now, so they're all converted. And because there's more than one set, you can see that you've got scores on quite a few pieces. We need to ungroup them. So again, it's just that first icon at the top of your layers panel. Obviously, I'm using the desktop version for PC. If you're on mobile, it'll be in the various menus at the bottom. Okay, so now everything on Canvas is a separate piece, and we can attach the score lines to the individual pieces that have them. So I'll just zoom in a little bit. I'm not going to waste too much time telling you what these pieces are, because, as always, I'll just attach that before I forget. You do get a PDF of instructions. It's quite a long one. This is, I don't think it's a difficult project. I think beginners might be okay with it, but there are lots and lots of steps. If I go to the last page, overall, to make the card and the belly band and the envelope, there are 73 steps, 72 steps really. So yeah, it's a long project. It's not a quick make. Probably take your best part of half a day to make it, I think. But my point I was making is you get this SVG of assembly instructions, and here I mention what the pieces are. They're fairly straightforward, really. Obviously, those are the card bits, that's the belly band, and that's the actual pop-out mechanism there. So we won't talk about that too much because it'll just confuse things. So anything that's got scores, just drag a box to enclose the individual piece and its score line and click attach. We need to do that for each piece on canvas that's got scores. Little tiny belly band piece there. Yeah, and with this file, when I made my card back, and I would always, just get that out of the way, I would always cut my card in a single piece using the long mat and A3. But I know not everybody likes to do that. So I've also supplied it in two separate pieces that if you want to, you can cut them on 12 by 12 using the standard mat. So anybody, whether you've got a long mat or not, whether you've got the longer card or not, you can still make this card if you want to. And then down here we've got 3 different sizes of flower. If you want different sizes, you can just resize those yourself. No scores obviously on those. So I think we've attached all the scores there. So right, so we need to duplicate the flowers, don't we? Everything else is as it should be. So let's just move all that stuff out of the way for now. We've attached all the scores, we're ready to go with those. If we just nip back to the PDF of instructions, when I get onto the flowers page, I actually tell you how many I made for my card that looks like this. Where are we? I made 5 large flowers, and that's because I used 4 in the card and 1 on the belly band, 6 medium flowers and 7 small flowers. So that's what we'll duplicate and make now. So what did I say? 5 large, 5 large, 6 medium, 7 small. I wonder if I can remember that. I bet I can't. Right, this is the large flower. 2 petals, a set of leaves and a flower inner. So we've got 1 there. So I'm going to duplicate 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the medium flower. 6 I said, didn't I? So we've got 1 there. I'm hitting the duplicate button, by the way. You could also do copy and paste. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here's the little one. I said 7 of those, so we've got 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We will say, I think, for this little demonstration, that I'm making my card out of the 2-piece file. So I'm going to get rid of this single piece file. I'll just delete that. When you get your instructions, let's have a look. Yeah, I start the instructions showing how to assemble that 2-piece, but if you use the 1-piece, you'll come in at 0.5 and 6. That's where you'll start. I do explain that there as well. Okay, so we've got rid of the big piece of card that we're not going to use. Everything else is there. I've duplicated the flowers. These are the stems for the flowers, and to make them nice and stiff so that they stand up for sure, we actually doubled them up. You stick 2 pieces together. So with the flowers I've made, bearing in mind that I'm putting 1 on the belly band, we need 17 stems, double-sided. So we need 34 altogether. So we've got 1 there. If I can select it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then I'm going to select all those and duplicate them again. So now we've got 34, which will stick together to make 17 stems. Right, let's hit make it. So everything that's cream in this project, I cut mine out of white to make this card. White envelope, well, we haven't got the envelope in there yet, but white card, and the belly band is white on the inside. This I used A4 for, but if you're using 12 by 12, you can leave it like that. We might even, what I would try there is I would, if we're making this from 12 by 12, probably won't when you get onto your flowers, will you? Because generally we use lighter paper for that then. Actually, no, that might be better if I put those there, turn that round, stick it up there, and I think this piece then might go onto that mat. Turned round. Yes, it will. Perfect. So if we're using 12 by 12, the lighter purple is the top overlay. Go back to the picture and show you. There are two. So you've got a purple one stuck onto the white of the card, and then the lighter purple one goes on top. So that's the lighter one. These are the flower inners, so you need a very small piece indeed for those, and you can stick on your mat whatever would cut them. I've set this up so that the flowers are all the same colour. I think most of you will know how to change colours and things. I could show it how to break it up, but it might take a little bit too long and be a little bit tedious. So let's, at the moment, I might just show you quickly how to change the colour, but at the moment we'll say that we're making them all the same colour. I did do a lovely one with white daisies actually, but I've just not taken a picture of it. But it looks really effective with lovely white daisies, yellow centres and green leaves. So that's why they start off all the same colour. But as we were saying, because that actually is the flower paper, it's probably going to be something lighter, which generally comes in A4 or letter, doesn't it? So if it was A4, you'd need 2 sheets, and I'm pretty sure that will be the same if we choose letter. Yeah, 2 sheets of letter. These are the 300-gram bits to make the card, the white parts of the card and the belly band. So we'd need 3 sheets of 12 by 12 there. The leaves, again, you might have some card the right weight in 12 by 12. If not, like I did, you'd use A4. And we'd need 2 sheets there. You could also spend time slotting these around, but I think bearing in mind you'd still end up needing 2 sheets, I think, and that would be a lot of time. So you could use A4 or letter for those. And these are the darker purple overlays. What's on that sheet? Yeah, you're definitely going to need 2 sheets of 12 by 12 for that, but of course you can cut them from A4, in which case you'd need 2 sheets of A4, and obviously they'll fit on letter as well, and you'd need 2 sheets. It's a bit more of an economical cut, I would say, A4 or letter for those. Sorry, I just got distracted by the dog then. just stop and start again. Right, so that's fairly straightforward, I think. You've got all your pieces to make the whole project there. Yeah, the belly band and the overlays as well. Right, I'm not going to cut it, so we'll go back. And now I will show you, I think you're going to know really. So when I made mine, however many flowers obviously, as you can see in my card, let's just go back there, I've got 3 colours of flower. I've got purple, deep pink, and then this slightly pearlescent pale pink. So basically, however many flowers I decided to make, I made a third of them in purple of each size, a third of them in pink, and a third of them in the paler pink. That was just how I came up with my mix. So really it depends how many colours you're going to use. You could use 2. As I say, made with white as daisies, it looks really effective as well. You could possibly go for slightly more vivid overlays if you just use all plain flowers. But just in case you need to know, I'm sure you know already, but the flower is that colour to start with. If you were going to use purple, you might do that and then duplicate as many as you want, or just so you can see it on screen and you kind of know what you're doing. And then we'd want a nice bright pink. You could do that there, and then we chose a paler pink, didn't we? So what shall we say? Go back there and then maybe go there. Yeah, that'll do. And then you would duplicate those to make as many as you want. I used, as you can see in my picture, I used the same colour inners for all of them. I think it looks quite nice to tie it together like that, but you can do absolutely anything you want. I'm sure some of you, when you make this, you'll do that lovely inking on your flowers as well, and that looks absolutely fantastic. That's not something I'm into at the moment. I think that's all I need to show you. Oh, the envelope. Yeah, we need, because you get an SVG to make the envelope as well. That envelope standing in the background there. And that's not included. You get 2 separate files. So let's go here. I've already got that saved somewhere else, so we'll just delete that and I'll bring the envelope. Oh, forgot this. Forgot goodness me. I'm going to press cancel and I hope I can do undo. I can. Splendid. Right, so yeah, on with this project, you also need the basket. And I want to show you two different ways of bringing it in depending on how you want to use it. So let's just navigate to where that is and I'll bring it in. There it is. It's a PNG. If you're going to do the print then cut, at this window, just press continue. At this window, nothing to get rid of, just apply and continue. And for the print then cut, we bring it in as a flat graphic. Upload at this window unless you want to change the name. And it comes in too big, but you need to make it 12 centimeters wide. That's not written down anywhere at the moment. I might put that in the PDF of instructions, but I do like to try and encourage people to watch the video if I can, so I might not. But you need it to be 12 centimeters wide. It will glue onto the front of that piece there, so you can see it just goes over the edges at the bottom and just over the top of that folded section there. So we'll click make it and I'll just show you how to do that bit if you've never done print then cut before. So we've brought it in as a flat graphic, made it 12 centimeters wide, which is what it needs to be. My machine is defaulted to A3 because that's the default size I choose, but obviously it would print on A4 or letter. So choose the paper size you want, click continue. We're going to ignore the rest of it for now because we've just looked at that already. Send to printer. Do have bleed switched on because it does bleed off at the cut edge, and click use system dialog. Every time you do print then cut, I recommend that you use that button, and then press print, and it should bring up, because you chose to use the system dialog, it should bring up an extra window that allows you to communicate with your printer. Mine looks like this, yours might look slightly different. You can see that my printer there, the one that I use, is in the list. I can choose preferences. Yours might say advanced settings or something. I would tell it from where I wanted it to take the paper. I would choose the paper size there, and most importantly, at quality, I would choose high. And then when you're happy with your settings, OK, and it won't print until you press print on this window. And I don't want to print it actually, so I'm just going to press cancel, but at that point you would press print and you would get your printed sheet. So I'm going to press done. And you can see up here, by the way, if you ever do that and you haven't printed it, but it says printed and you think, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Just click on that printed word and you'll get the chance to do it again. So if you print it and then the dog runs off with it, or you stand on it on your way to the printer, or it just doesn't print very nicely, you can just click that printed button and print it again. Right, so that is if you wanted to do the basket as a print then cut, which does look really nice. You can see it there on mine. It does look really pretty. But if you don't want to do print then cut, because not everybody does, yes, I do want to cancel the cut. Cancel. Right, we're going to bring that file in again. So I'm going to go upload, browse. I am still going to choose that PNG. I'm going to go open, continue at this window. Don't change anything here. And because this is a vector file, the edges of this file are lovely and smooth. You don't need to do anything. There's no background to get rid of. Apply and continue, but at this window, bring it in as a single layer. And just you can change the name if you want to, and just upload it. So now, as you can see, it's a basic cut file, and we'll still need to make it 12 centimeters wide, or whatever that would be in inches. Let me just get my ruler. It looks like it is about 4 3/4 inches, 4.75 inches, I would say. Yeah, that would work anyway, it's fine. And then you could just cut that from some pretty card, or you might have card that's got a wicker pattern on it or anything. But yeah, just use that as a cut file then, and then you don't need to do print then cut if you don't want to. Right, so that's the card. I think I've shown you everything you need to know. If I haven't, please don't hesitate to ask me. Ask me on Etsy or Facebook, and I'll be happy to make another video showing you anything you need to see. Right, not going to do that, so I'm going to delete it and we'll bring the envelope in. There we are. At this window, just continue and upload here. It's a cut file, so it just comes in. You don't need to do anything to it. It lands selected. We're going to ungroup it, and then we're just going to select these top 3 layers here, which are the score lines. You can see they're just lines. There's no colour to them. Operations menu, choose score, and you can see that they get converted. And now we can do what we did before, which is just select one piece and its scores and attach it. So I've set the envelope up like this, so that if you want to cut it from A4 or letter, you can do. It will just fit on A4. So I'm going to show you what to do if you want to if you want to cut it from A4. So yeah, actually what we will have to do. So this piece is 20 centimeters wide, which means we've got a whole 10 millimeters, which is like a third of an inch, to play with. I'm just talking about A4 European size here for now. But because we're going to need to separate the mats out, just for this step, I need to select that piece and just make it a different colour. And it can be any colour. We're going to cut it from all the same card. I just need to make the machine make different mats. So I'm going to choose 12 by 12 for that piece I've made red. And then for these 2 pieces, I can choose A4 because they will definitely fit on A4. But I'm actually going to use A4 for all of it. And all I will do when I come to put my paper on this mat is I will just put it a couple of millimeters away from that very first white line at the left hand side of my mat, and then that'll just give us a little bit more to play with on this side. It will fit on anyway because the cutting margins are only about 5 millimeters, but if it did shave a tiny bit off at that right hand side, it wouldn't matter because that's a glue tab. So that's what to do if you are cutting it from A4. I'm going to go back and change that. But I think if we want to use letter, I think we can just choose letter. Yeah, so if it's letter, you can just choose letter and it'll take 3 pieces. If, however, you know you're going to cut this envelope from 12 by 12, then you could just choose 12 by 12 and you'll require 2 sheets because those 2 pieces will fit together. But you can actually save yourself a little bit of work if you're going to cut this from 12 by 12 because we can weld these 2 pieces together. When you make this, these 2 pieces get glued together. So what I'm going to do is that's the glue tab that joins the envelope flap to the front of the envelope, which is this piece. So I'm just going to bring it over. I'm going to very carefully line it up. I might zoom in a bit further if I can. Yeah. And I just want that score line to line up with that one. And then obviously we're going to need to detach it. That's the tab. And then in your layers panel or on screen, if it's easier, you're just going to select the tab, which is now detached from its scores, and the envelope front, which is also detached from its scores, and we're going to unite. I would use unite rather than weld, and then you can undo it later on. And now we just need to send that to the back, select that piece and all the scores that are on top of it, and attach. And then this, remember, this is just if you're using 12 by 12. You can still use 12 by 12, but you've saved yourself having to glue those 2 pieces together. So that's quite nice. Another step you can do if you're in the US and you're using tabloid to cut this envelope, because it will fit on a sheet of tabloid. We're stuck in Europe, I'm afraid it won't fit on A3. But if you wanted to use tabloid paper, you would do exactly the same. Let me just make sure. 428. Tabloid is 432. I mean, it will fit on tabloid, but it is a squeeze. So if you wanted to put it on tabloid, join those 2 pieces like that and weld them like I just showed you before, or unite them rather, then you can undo it. No good for those of us using A3. It definitely won't fit on an A3. But that's a nice little step to take if you're using 12 by 12 and it just saves you having to glue those 2 pieces together. Saves you a step in assembly. Right, I think that is all I need to show you. As I say, you do get this PDF of fantastic assembly instructions. It shows every single step. The method of making the actual mechanism that allows the flowers to fold up inside the card is a little bit complicated, but I do try and show it in as many steps as I can. And as I say, if the PDF isn't quite enough to show you how to do it, I'd be happy to make a little short video just for that tiny piece of the project. I think you will understand it. The photographs are pretty clear, but for somebody who doesn't have English as a first language, I accept that all the wording, there is quite a lot of wording in this in this PDF. It might be a little bit overwhelming. So just ask me if you want to make the project and anything's not clear. Don't hesitate to come back to me and ask. I really am always happy to help. You can get in touch with me by Etsy or Facebook, whichever you prefer, and the links are in the description below this video if you want to do that. And if you just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVGs, there's a link to do that too. Don't forget, if you're purchasing 3 or more SVG files at one time from the Tanglecraft Studio Etsy shop, the link is in the description, you can use the 30 for 3 discount code to get 30% off your total purchase. This offer runs all the time, but you need to use that code when you check out. And if you haven't already joined the Tanglecraft Studio Facebook group, join now to get any special Etsy discount codes issued to group members and to take advantage of the free SVG files I give away in the group from time to time. The link to the group is in the description. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.